Good morning. Welcome to Morning Moments. I am so glad that you took the time to be with us this morning for our morning moments. I have an actress from the Dallas-Fort Worth area that's graciously agreed to be on this Morning Moments show. Julie Rhodes, welcome to Morning Moments.
Thank you. Great to be here.
Julie, tell me a little bit about yourself. What do you do and why do you do it?
Well, I'm an actor. I have been professionally acting in theater for about 10 years now, and I'm recently branching into TV and film. I'm many things. Acting is one channel that the Lord has opened for me. I'm also a writer, mom, wife, um, but acting is my vocation, and very grateful to be doing it. Why I do it, you know, I don't know that I could do anything else long term. It was something I resisted really for about 10 years. It was a seed that was planted as a young child doing community theater all through high school. I had great training and great opportunities. And then when college and young adulthood came along, I was very I was very practical and I think afraid of pursuing it as a profession. And God graciously opened up a new door for me in about 2009 through a church that was doing big musicals. And I auditioned for it and was part of that, and it changed my life. And I felt compelled to pick up that thing that I had loved and done so long. And so I started training again and I started auditioning again. And several years went by with no success. And and then one by one doors started opening, and I've just been so grateful. But it has felt like a compulsion. Um, I guess you might call it a calling from the Lord, or it's just part of my wiring and something that He's put in me. And so I don't take it for granted. I'm very grateful to be able to pursue something that I love. I feel His pleasure when I do it. It's that thing that makes me come alive in the sense of this is one of the reasons I was made. And
I often hear that, and I was looking for the quote. Oh, here it is, right here. I'm glad I wrote it down so I could quote. T.D. Jakes once said, "If you can't figure out your purpose, figure out your passion. For your passion will lead you into your purpose." And isn't that so true? Where you say, God, I don't know what I want to do. What would you want me to do? He goes, well, what is the desires and the passion I'm giving you? And when you find that, you go, okay, well, that should be connected, probably is connected to your purpose.
right. Well, God, he's good. He's not going to plant things in you to and gaslight you with desires and
Yeah.
ability. He doesn't put these things in us to tease us or to torture us with things that might have been or might be. I think it's pretty straightforward that you should pay attention to how you are made and respect that, even if it scares you, even if you don't like it. I would sometimes much rather be more scientifically minded so I could have a more stable job, like a doctor or
Yeah. Yeah. Or
yeah,
a nurse, right?
or a nurse.
Yeah.
But to be an entertainment, God, why
Yeah.
did you make me? It's like the pot saying to his maker, why did you make me this way?
Yes.
Well,
Yeah.
sorry.
Because your industry is just full of the word rejection is just a daily word you
Yeah.
have to use. I
Oh
mean,
yeah.
auditions, rejection, audition, rejection, audition, rejection.
It's a way of life.
It's a way of life. Yes.
The booking is the unusual thing, and that's
Yeah.
the icing.
Yeah.
But that's not the real work, is not the performance. The real work is the training and the auditions. That's the bulk of the time. So when you actually do get to put your work in front of an audience or in front of a camera, it's just a sweet, that's not an afterthought. It's the pinnacle of your work, but it's a reward.
I've often said the learning is in the journey, the strength is in the struggle. And so if it was easy, we wouldn't be learning. And when
Yeah.
we get out of our comfort zone and say, God, I just want you, I want to grow. Okay, since you've asked me to grow.
Never prayed that prayer. Just be like, I'm good. I'm fine, right?
I'm fine right where I'm at. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and we're offering, I feel like I'm offering very little, loaves and fishes. I can look around on any given day and see 10,000 people who I feel personally are more talented, better connected, with better training backgrounds than I do in this industry. But I'm learning, part of my growth is learning to surrender what little I have,
That's exactly
uh,
right.
and just leave the results to God.
I'm
That's
often
harder.
I'm often reminded in the book of Acts where the disciples were going out and they were healing people and they were preaching and they were doing great things. And somebody said in the book of Acts says, who are these people? They are unlearned and uneducated men, but they had been with Jesus.
Mm.
I'm going, well, there's my qualification right there.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter what I what my abilities are, it matters what my availability would
Mm.
be. And have I been with Jesus? Some of you are out there listening to this interview and going, yeah, I'm struggling with my purpose. I'm struggling with what God has for me. Well, you learn your trade like she's doing, you open the doors that are open, but be available. And God's got a plan, a purpose, and a hope for you if you're willing to take the risk. It is a risk, isn't it?
Yes. It's a step of faith. It's um it's an opportunity to put into practice what you say you think you believe, and to hold God, um, to assume God will be who he is, and to allow yourself to be who you are. You're small and he's big. And the more we try to control and the more anxious we get over things, the more we are trying to be big. And the less we are trying to remain, who we are. And so, that's a hard, gosh, that's a hard discipline to practice. I think in an industry where you are rejected over and over again, you become more and more increasingly aware
Yeah.
of your smallness, which is, good. It keeps you humble. Um, but it's a daily struggle.
Yeah. You know, when you were talking, I was just thinking of something that a Bible example, a biblical example. Um, and people go, I will would I have faith like Peter did to step out of the boat and walk on water? And would I have that kind of faith? I don't read anywhere that God's ever asked anybody to step out of the boat and walk on water, other than that what Peter did.
Right.
Uh, I tell people all the time I walked on water, but that was because we lived in northern Michigan and the lake was frozen. But there was no frozen lake there. But Peter took the step and walked on water. God's never asked anybody that I know of to do what Peter did. So don't be concerned about stepping out on water. Just step out what God's given you.
That's great. And he's so sweet because I think he does help us. He gives us a little encouragements along the way. And he opens doors just when our hearts need them, I think, to keep us just going
Yeah.
one step at a time. He is compassionate, and he's not, just the tiniest little advance forward in faith. I think he just blesses and wants to encourage us, like a dad with a toddler trying to walk. Come on, you can do it. I'm
Yeah.
going to encourage you. I'm going to help you. That's how I have, there's been a pattern in my career that I've noticed with the Lord, and that's I put in all this work, all this effort, and then all is lost. I don't get the call, I don't get the job, or it seems to have fallen through, time has passed. And then while I'm waiting and worrying about that, something comes in the back door that I could never have expected or planned or created. And I've felt like that's the Lord over and over again saying, you know, I'm your agent, I'm your casting director, I am everything here. And so um, just be faithful.
Yeah.
Little steps, baby steps.
Sometimes the doors that close is because he has another one open for you. And if you walk through that door wouldn't have been open. And to be able to trust that God is in control. That's so hard, saying, God, I'm trusting you. Fear is often a direct correlation to our lack of trust in God.
Totally. I mean, it's a natural response to a universe without God.
Mm-hmm.
If you go into the world thinking God is not real, then of course you're going to be afraid, because it's just you. So I try to pay attention to my fear and ask it questions. You know, what is my fear saying about what I really believe and what I really don't believe? Um, it's a good test. You know, I think we need to pay attention to these moments that we feel the need to control and freak out, and ask them, you know, when Jesus, it's not, they're in the boat and there's a storm, and the disciples are freaking out, and they're saying to Jesus, don't you care that we're going to die? And he says, where is your faith? Almost like, get your faith out and use it. Is your faith in your backpack? Is your faith tucked away somewhere? It's a tool. You know, you have to choose to pull this tool out that you have and use it on your fear. And so, but it's a conscious decision. But the first thing you have to do is identify, I am actually afraid right now. I do not have faith. So let me own that first, and then let me pull it out as a tool.
I think they were upset with him because he was sleeping. Was it? Didn't?
Yeah.
Yes.
Sleep.
Yeah.
I mean, I would be upset.
How can you sleep through this?
You can't blame these people. Yeah.
Yes. Why shouldn't you be freaking out like me? You know,
Yeah.
I'm freaking out. Everybody should be freaking out. Yeah.
Yeah. Dangerous out here.
Yes, absolutely. Oh, what a wonderful message. Julie, I want to thank you for taking the time to join us in Morning Moments. I'm going to put this information down below in the comment section, how folks can get a hold of you. There may be somebody that's listening to this and saying, you know what, that's the spirit and that's the heart I want my next movie. We don't know how God works. And there may be doors that open up because of this, or it may be people are going through struggles and saying, that's the kind of faith that I need too. And so I'm going to ask the audience to do a couple things here. If you need to listen to this, go again 2 or 3 times because you need that encouragement that we had in this conversation, or you know somebody that needs to pass this on to somebody else, please do so. I also want you, as soon as this video is over, as soon as you get done, take the time right now, pray for Julie, that God would continue to bless her, continue to put her right where he needs her to be, as a wife, as a mother, as a actress, as whatever God has for her. And just pray, take a moment and pray for her right now. And I would appreciate that. Julie, thank you for joining us for Morning Moments.
Thank you, Andy. I really appreciate it. It was really fun.
All right. Thank you for joining us too. And I'm going to ask you if you would, please keep on coming back, and may God richly bless you.